Hey team, welcome back to my channel. Here's a good problem on HackerRank. It's a program to print prime numbers. These are the databases that they have tests for, but I'm going to use PostgreSQL and solve the same problem. Notice they want to print all prime numbers less than or equal to 1000. And then they want to use the ampersand character to separate the values. Notice here they showed an example less than 10. See the ampersand between each character? Let's solve this using PostgreSQL. Notice that I'll be using PostgreSQL 16. The source code for this video is available on my GitHub account. Look for the repository called PostgreSQL short resources, and then in there you'll see a file called printprimenumbers.sql. Now this question came from HackerRank, and it's called print prime numbers. Now, HackerRank does not have a question for PostgreSQL. I'm just solving it using this tool. Are you ready? Let's solve this. So let's solve this problem. So we're going to begin with, how do we generate all the numbers? Well, we can use generate series. We can say select generate series, and we're going to begin with 2, and we're going to go to 1000, and we're going to say as numbers. And this is just an alias for my column name. So let's go ahead and execute this. And then notice at the bottom down here, we have all our numbers from 2 to 1000. Now what I'd like to do is I'd like to wrap this inside of a CTE, and we can say with, and let's call this all numbers CTE. So this is our set, and we are going to return numbers. And you say as, and then open and a close. Now, once this is a CTE, this will kind of like behave like a table. So I can actually say select star from all numbers CTE, and it will show me the output. You get it. Now what we want to do is we want to create another CTE that uses the input from our first one, and then let's square the numbers. So we're going to call this square numbers CTE. So I'm going to put a comma after that first CTE and then say squared numbers CTE. Then I'm going to return the numbers and then the square root. Now how do we do this? Well, remember, we're going to be using this as my input now. So what we say is select number from this guy. Now, once we get that, then we want to do a little bit of magic to create the square root. So we're just going to say comma, and then sqrt of numbers, alias that as sqrt number. Let's put S on that. And then we can say select star from this CTE. And let's go ahead and run that and see where we're at. Well, you can see here that this is giving us double precision, and we kind of don't need that. So how can we cast this as like just an integer? So what we can use is the cast function, say cast, now the square root of numbers as an integer. And let's see what that looks like now. So to go figure out if a number is prime, we only need to go up to the square root of that number to kind of like figure out whether or not that is a prime number or not. So now we're going to actually solve this. So this is just preparing my data. So the question asked me, what are all the prime numbers between 2 and 1000? Well, I'm about to show you. Select numbers from the square root CTE, and where not exist. Okay, this is where it gets fun here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through this whole list and to see if the modulus remainder is 0. Now, if the modulus remainder is 0, what does that mean to you? Well, that means to you that it is divisible by more than 1 in itself. So we don't want that. So we're going to say select true from all CTE numbers where numbers is greater than 1 and numbers less than equal to the square root, this second CTE, dot square root numbers. So remember, we only want to go up to the square root of the number. And then we're going to do the home run here, where the square root CTE dot numbers mod numbers from the first table equals 0, right? Now I'm saying not exist. So when this finds the ones that, like modulus to 0, I don't want them. I only want the ones that are not 0, right? So let's go ahead and execute this. And look at that, we have all the prime numbers. Now that's just half the battle. The second half of the battle was, the goal is to put all of these numbers on one line and separate each number with an ampersand. So let's use the string ag function. So we can say string ag, string aggregate, and we're going to take those numbers. But the first thing we have to do is, whenever we're dealing with strings and numbers, we have to cast this to an actual string, or a varchar, if you will. So I'm going to say cast numbers as varchar 4. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that ampersand character at the end, and it's going to aggregate these together. And now let's see what this looks like. Well, look what we did. We were able to solve that same problem using PostgreSQL. If you have any questions or comments about this code, please leave your comments below. Until then, I'll see you back in my next video. Take care.